So this is a bottle of something that I've wanted to buy for a while, and I finally pulled the trigger about 2 weeks ago, and I've been getting to know this whiskey, as I am wont to say, and long and short, it's damn good. It's real good. This is Glenallachie 12. This is the first time I'm covering a Glenallachie. In fact, I think it's the first time I'm even mentioning Glenallachie, for the simple reason that it's not really been on my radar much, which, as I have discovered, is criminally negligent of me, because this is some truly fantastic stuff. And it's a good time for me to share this with people as well, because obviously December, it's the time of giving gifts and all the rest of it. So if you have somebody who's a bit of a whiskey fan, you're kind of like, I want to get them something a little special, but I'm also fucking broke. This is actually a really good choice. It's about 40 odd pounds, but what you get for that money is stunning. This bottle is a new batch release. They've had a 12-year-old before, but it did not look like this. This has kind of had the same thing happen to it that Kilchoman has had happen to them, which is with the Snake. They released a new batch and it looked significantly darker because they had much more active sherry casks that were being used, and the same thing has happened with the Glenallachie 12, and these are the kind of things which have been proving that the notion of consistency doesn't necessarily always bring in more money, because sometimes you've got a core release like this but it looks completely different from how it used to look, but it's the same overall basic profile you can expect with some minor variations. And this is what's been getting whiskey drinkers quite excited, because it's like, okay, this is their core release, but there's minute differences. Can I pick them out? Can I have a bit of fun with it? I don't have the original, or the last batch of the 12-year-old to compare it to. If I can get my hands on it, I might do that. That sounds like a bit of fun, doesn't it? But for now, we're going to have a look at what this is. Now then, it's all the things that we like. Natural colour, non-chill filtered, 46%, so it's ticking lots of boxes straight off the bat. And on the back it says, under the guidance of Master Distiller Billy Walker. He's the guy who used to have Glendronach, and he's basically responsible for putting them back on the map. He's touted as having recognised that the casks that Glendronach had, just kind of sitting there when they were closed, were of exceptional quality. And he released the whiskies, and then they got bought off of him, and then he came to Glenallachie, and he's sort of considered the goose that keeps laying golden eggs, essentially, in the whiskey world, with good reason. A process of slow fermentation, precise distillation, and long maturation in the finest casks from around the world. It's always the finest casks, it's never the most mediocre casks. Delivers this fantastic single malt, as natural as the rocky place it hails from. I do believe that, yes, here we are indeed, from the Valley of the Rocks. I think that's roughly what Glenallachie translates to. It's a Speyside whiskey for those of you keeping score, and you might be wondering about that label as well. I in the past have referred to this as Flintstone whiskey because it's got that font. I didn't coin that. A colleague of mine brought it to my attention, and I think they got it from somebody else, because I have seen that description of this whiskey kicking around before. Now then, in the glass, I've decided on a Norland today because I'm feeling fancy. It's a beautiful sort of tawny colour, deep burnished copper colour. Beautiful, actually. Just letting a bit of light through. It helps that I've got, you know, not studio lights, but a stand with an umbrella and a massive, great big light bulb. Now, initial nosing is interesting. It's like treacle, Christmas cake. There's a fair bit of like sherry in there. It's difficult to pick out. I kind of just want to say sort of cream sherry and a little bit of communion wine in there as well. I know, I didn't expect me to pick that one out either, but a little bit of red fruits and kind of a little bit of a pear influence on there as well, like a green apple. I'm going to stick with pears. It's more of a peary scent than it is an appley one. I always get those two fruits kind of muddled, and I get that they are distinctly different, and there's team pear and there's team apple. I'm going to drink some of this now. Like cinder toffee and pear drops. It's like you had a sweet bag and you got both at the same time. It's like a warming ginger towards the finish. It's quite long. It's quite a thick body as well, actually. I forgot to mention that. It's got quite a thick mouthfeel. There's a bit of like a raisin chocolate thing at the start as well. Somehow a cat hair got into this glass. I don't quite know how that... It malts like fucking mad at this time of year. Okay, it's a beautiful dram. Lots of fruits, lots of kind of like stewed baked pears, bit of plum, red fruits, bit of chocolate, bit of raisin, a little bit of Christmas cake in there as well. It's a little bit spicy on the finish. It's warm, but it's not, you know, shit booze flavour. It's warming without it being kind of like, because we talk about that quite a bit, because there is a difference. You can tell a better made booze from a cheaply made booze, and it's night and day. This is my new water receptacle. It is not waterproof at all, and I can tell you that because I just spilt a load on my leg, and that is the lid and everything on it. But it's got this cool like little levering action. You probably can't see that at all. This was a charity shop find. It's amazing what 3 quid will get you in the British Heart Foundation these days. So I'm going to add a drop. I've got to kind of... Whoa, okay. Do you know, actually, I think I'll take a bit more. In, get in there. Ah, all over my knee. Bloody hell. This is more looks than anything else. I'm not sure if that's... I am covered in water now. Fantastic. Right. So, with a little bit of dilution, it's not actually really clouding up, interestingly to note. Anyway. Ooh. More of a butterscotch thing coming through now with the water. Getting like a French toast kind of a thing as well. It's vaguely reminding me of eggy bread. Like freshly baked croissants on there as well. Transformation, actually. Most of the fruit components have kind of gone away, and there's more kind of like baked items. I dig it though. Alright, let's see what it's like with a bit of water. Oh wow, night and day difference. But you know, this is an excellent whiskey for when people are like, oh, you never put water in your whiskey. This is a great example of why they're fucking idiots. And just kind of fascists as well. Do what you want. Don't let other people tell you what to do. Do it. Do your own thing. There we go. Put ice in it. Put Coke in a 21-year-old. Maybe don't do that, but I mean, it's up to you. It's your money down the drain at the end of the day. You're not going to appreciate it. There we go. I'll advise. I won't demonise. I'll advise. It's like a blueberry thing, actually. I was like, there's a fruit here, but it's none of my normal staple that I go to. So I had to think about it for a minute, but it's blueberries. There we are. It's interesting. I don't think I've really ever gotten blueberries off of a whiskey before. That's unusual. Exactly what that is, actually. And I'll wrap it with that. It's toasted brioche with blueberry jam. And that's all she wrote. That's an absolute delight. If you have the opportunity, people are starting to cotton on to Glenallachie as a serious contender. I think it kind of got overlooked. Or people didn't want to talk about it too much because they saw what happened with Glenallachie and the prices that have come as a consequence of that. And I think some people kind of want to keep this a bit down low, and I don't blame them. But this is banging. This is an absolutely fantastic whiskey. And it's one of those ones where you keep sipping it over like an hour or so and it just keeps evolving. It's a beauty. Right. That's me done and dusted. Comment down below. Did you used to watch the Flintstones? No. Have you tried any Glenallachies? Or have you tried any of Billy Walker's work? Have you tried Glendronachs before they changed hands? Let me know down below. Please do thumb this video if you enjoyed it. And do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.